views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I'm going to empower you and teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality to reveal the steps you need to let go of your perceived limitations. Have you had the limiting self-talk over and over? Have you noticed you allow your fears to hold you back? If you're truly ready for change, I invite you to join me, Tracy L. Clark, and start your journey of transformation now. Welcome to another episode of the Tracy L. Clark Show. I'm your host, Tracy L., and I'm so happy you are here to join us today. Yes, we have a call-in show, 1-800-930-2819, as we do every week to answer your questions. But I also want to touch base at the top of the hour about self-help programs, because a lot of times people say to me, Tracy, why don't they work? My mission is not to fix you. That is not what I do, because you are not broken. As the number one body regeneration expert, my mission is to actually help you remember who you are. And to remember that every step and every journey and everything that happens in your life is here to awaken you back to the God consciousness, awaken to what you forgot when you incarnated into this planet. And we're filled with so many programs and so many, I like to say lies, I guess, that we really forget that. And I've been just where you are. If you're struggling, whether it's in your health, if you know my story, I had a lot of health issues, whether it's your finances, your career, your relationship, it's all a journey of awakening. And we forget that. And quite often we'll go to self-help programs or weekends and we'll have a great time. And you may have found yourself coming home from some, and maybe you bought literature and you're ready to dive in. But the reality is you can be on this high and you're in this beautiful space, and then you have support and you have connection and you have people around you that are celebrating you. I saw a post of somebody's event they did not too long ago, and the people were cheering and rah-rah, and you could see energetically that they had a great weekend, but that when a lot of them, when they got home, you could also see energetically, and this is what people miss, that they were going to fall back into their old patterns. And then wonder why that didn't sustain. And it doesn't sustain because if you go back into your old patterns, you can be on that high for maybe a week or 2 weeks. But if you're surrounded by people that maybe at home or in your workplace that are not supporting you, not uplifting you, not moving you in the right direction, all of a sudden you're going to want to have that extra food that you may not want to have, or you may go back to your smoking when you're like, I didn't smoke, or the pain in the body comes back. The key when you're actually finding the awarenesses within yourself is to really stay connected to the God consciousness and stay connected to what your body is telling you. And you need to be supported on a regular basis. And people forget this. And I know even within my own communities that I've created, that as we're always helping them change their lives, change what they're thinking, how they're feeling, their perceptions, and have that conviction so strong that you become in control of your life and you become really the master of your life. And that's what's so important. You know, imagine how you've defined yourself in this world. We've all defined ourselves based on whether you're male or female. Now that's changing. Whether you're the color of your skin, where your ethnic background is, maybe where you were born, maybe what religion you belong to, what science you believe in. And I often think about this because when I look at humanity, we're constantly in this push-pull of trying to define who we are based on programs and information we've been given. What if we didn't, like I live in Canada, our show's produced out of the United States. Okay, what if we didn't have that? What if I just choose to live here? We just all live in the world. We live in a world where we stop defining people by all of these labels. And when you go to these courses or you go to really awaken who you are and you connect back to the God consciousness, you start to realize that man has created all these definitions for segregation, separation. What if we had a world where we just lived on Earth? We lived on Earth and we learned to love and be in kindness, and we learned to help people and not get so caught up in the programming that we've been programmed over and over. That's why you hear people talk about removing limited beliefs or patterns and getting out of your programming. You hear me talk about looking at the body a lot that way, removing out your old programming. And I like looking at it. For me, it's fun, like a little computer, because we're always on our computers. You can relate to it. And people go, oh, we're not a computer. And like, expand your perception, expand that. If you could get rid of that programming that you're, not worthy or not good enough, don't fit, based on what you've been told, based on somebody told you that that's how it is. Somebody told you, like if somebody told you the color of your skin was different, you believe it was different. You wouldn't know any different. But when we wake up and really start to understand that every part of our journey was to awaken us back to the God consciousness, which is a non-judgmental space. People say that's not possible. It is possible if enough of us come together and understand. And that's why you go on and you get onto these programs, you get into courses, and I hear so many people come to me and say, Tracy, I'm so broken. But you're not broken. You just forgot. So you're just waking up to the awareness of more. And that is the whole goal to move forward, is that we are all just human beings here that need to learn to love and accept. But we've gotten so formed into division that you get so confused. So when you go and you take these classes and you feel so amazing, that's why it's not sustainable. That's why you need to really start to expand your awareness. And I want to leave this with you guys to understand, what is it that you can expand more of into who you are? And how can you embrace more of who you are? Because you are not broken. There's no part of you. But again, look at the amount of programming we've had in society. It doesn't mean you don't talk about what's happening. It doesn't mean you don't acknowledge it. But when you're talking about something and acknowledging something for year after year after year, look at what's happened in our society. Look at it in North America. I had some people in the third world country ask me, why does North America have so much anxiety and so much depression? Like, we don't have that here. It doesn't exist here. And you start to realize everybody's got it. Everybody comes up, because rather than really looking at what are the changes in the world that may make somebody feel anxious. And then if you say that, then they go, oh, it's a real thing. Well, a lot of times when we go into these spaces is because we've disconnected from the truth of who we are. And the body is trying to find its way back. And yes, especially in North America and in many places in Europe, we've created this society of a treadmill. So people are always on it. And what is next? And I don't have enough money, and I don't have enough love, and I don't have it. So it's a world of problems. And I made a post on my Facebook where I took a copywriting course, and they said, you got to speak to the pain, speak to the pain. And I'm like, why can't we just speak that the pain was a beautiful process to get us on the other side so we can become more our authentic self? So I really want to thank that hand of God today of just opening each and every one of you to the expansion of more of who you are, and to just celebrate all of the journeys that you've come through, and all of those things that you saw as pitfalls or things that happened to you, or I got really hurt. And we all have a story of what we've gone through. But if you can start to celebrate them, then you can start to really find more of your connection, which will bring you more peace, and see, where was this? How did this help me? But not to hang on to it. So for anybody listening, we have listeners all over the place, and we hit 90 outlets. That's why I would say bookmark transformation.radio, because every week when we're bringing you a new awareness, I thank that hand of God of opening that in you, to just give you a little bit of a seed, to plant that in you. What if you could start to think different than a lot of people you listen to? What if you could step out of that box? What if you could actually really expand into the world a new thought process of connection and understanding? And with that, I always say it's the CDC. You hear me say this a lot. The connection and the dedication and the commitment is what it's about. Connection, dedication, commitment. And quite often when we have that, your conviction will become strong. So when people say to you, why would you want to go and, become more aware? Why don't you want to be in these systems anymore? You're starting to trigger their fears where they're afraid to step into the awareness of who they are. And when you start to understand they're afraid to step into the awareness of who they are, you develop more compassion and humility of understanding that everyone on the planet is doing the best they can with the programming and the information they have. But I love that quote from Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. And if you continue to have conviction, those self-help classes you took and that you're going to want to take or still read, maybe it's a book, maybe it's a program, you will find that you will take the nuggets you need and continue to expand the awareness of who you are. So remember, you're not broken. You're absolutely perfect. And that you're just here with all these experiences to bring you one step closer to the divine, one step closer to the God consciousness. And you're never alone unless you think you are. That's what I love about what stations like this do and so many people around the world. But you must believe it, and you to have to believe it to receive it. And, I did a video for one of our miraculous monthly partnership programs. We partner with people all over the world to help them shift and remember who they are every month. And so every 5 days a week, we send them a video. And I did one for them the other day, and I want to just plant this for each and every one of you. When you believe something, you receive it. It's an old saying, and when you doubt, you go without. But remember, when you believe that you are great, you will receive that, and that seed will be planted. When you believe you're not worthy, you will receive that, and that's the seed that's planted. When you believe that you are sick or you are ill or you are less than, and you constantly keep saying it, your body hears it, you will receive that. So what are you believing in, and what are you receiving? And just hold that thought with you. And today, if you could take one thing away from this show today, what are you believing? Because that's what you're receiving. It's pretty powerful if you take that message and you really go within and you really ask yourself. And this is the turning point for so many people. This is how you wake up, and this is how you keep on the path of creating the change in your families, your friends, and your work environment. Because we've hit the tipping point right now in our world. And July, you will see more in the world of transformation that you never thought possible. So you want to hold on, because it's going to look like a little bit of a bumpy ride. All right. So what are you believing in? Because that's what you're receiving. So expand that. All right, Carter, I think you said we have Sophia on the line today.
Yep. Sophia from Toronto. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Hi.
I just wanted to get some shifting. I know we briefly chatted, but I had recently lots of changes. Had seen 2 alternative practitioners, and they're like, stop everything, even, thyroid medication, everything. And I said, okay, kind of shocked by it, but it's good news, right? And now I think, I'm not sure if the body's just trying to recalibrate, but feeling really like eye pain, strain, fatigue, kind of the symptoms that you chatted about, and kind of just trying to go within and see if this is the right step for me, and not really sure.
Well, we never want you to be in total pain. That is never fun. Based on when you have, so what we always want to look at too is your test results. When the test results come back at one thing, here's what can happen. So we're just talking about when you believe something, you receive it, right? So when the test results, which you've had restored, and test results come back in a certain way, that's what you want to believing to receive more of, right? So what happens then is when we get, the body still has memory of old things, and then all of a sudden you start putting stuff back in the body. The body can also have some resistance, but resistance when we put anything in the body, and then when we take anything out of the body. So first, what I want to do is thank God of adjusting any resistance. So it's sort of like when we put a lot of medicine in the body, that one medicine is programmed to do one thing in the body, right? And then when you add more medicines, they're not programmed to talk to each other. They're just programmed to do one thing. So it's kind of like a little battle. They bump into each other in the body. We're not saying good or bad. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we want to make sure the programming of things that come off the system when you're coming off, the body is able to have that strength to dissolve and liquefy all of that imprinting and information. So you want to make sure, so like a reset, when we come off anything for a long time, your body is in a reset mode. And what I always say is, and always encourage too, when the body is changing so much, just always check with the doctor to make sure the levels are staying, right? That the levels are being strong. The levels are doing really well. And those are the things that you want to start to feed off. So what I love about when I get reports in, even for myself, when I was restoring my own body, as soon as I got something that said, oh, that was gone, I was like, yes, I never looked at it again. I never went down that path again. I was done unless something showed up, right? So then if something else would show up and then I would see it, okay, I have to deal with this. I went in to do the emotional inner work. I did whatever I need to clean up my body. And then I would go back and they'd be like, oh, it's good. Okay, done. Yay, that one's gone. So we wanted to set your body up for a similar process, because what's happening too is as your system had gone back and forward, so it's doing a little bit of a ping-ponging, and then the medicine and then going on and going off. So there's a whole bunch of misinformation is what I'm saying in your system that we have to start to clean out so your body doesn't have to suffer the way it's gone back to suffering. Does that make sense?
And yeah, it does. Just like the blood work and stuff, like the tests, like a part of me doesn't even want to go there right now. Like there's been a hesitation and a resistance to even bother, because I know I'm going through a recalibration.
Yeah. Yes.
And so,
and you already have many tests that are very good, very clean, and those are the ones that I'm saying that you can go off on, because that's already given you the result, right? So what we want to do is just also reset. So we got to pull. Remember too, when we have different things in our body, the body is actually, recalibrating, pulling it out, moving all this information out of the body. And it's talking, right? So your organs are like also going, oh, here comes the medicine, or here comes the vitamins or whatever, right? They're like, oh, here it comes. What do we do with it? So when we start to go off of it, that's also where the body can get confused as well. So slow and steady, but we'll start to adjust you, because you want to make sure that you rest and go within. And this is like another one I was saying, when the body is also teaching you a beautiful reconnection to back up into the divine, right? To the God consciousness. So we want to celebrate as the body's letting go, even though I know it sounds a little bit crazy to people when we're in pain, because I get it. I've been in a lot of pain. I get it. It's like, why am I celebrating this? But let's reset this for you. And we'll recalibrate, because you said you got a lot of the eye pain and the sensory system, and we have to redo the nerve system as well. Thank you, God.
And when you say go within, how do you know whether it's going within and then also like something fear-based, right? Because sometimes it's like, no, you need to go back on this, is what I'm getting like the feeling of. And I'm like, okay, is that fear, or is that me? Is my body telling me to go back on something?
Yeah. Well, and remember too, I would say in gentle, if you're ever feeling like there's too much pain, you can always go back on it for that little bit, right? You can go into a little bit of doses and check with the doctor there. But you're correct as well. A lot of times when we get a pain anywhere in our body, no matter how severe it is, most people go into a fear mode, right? It's very normal based on how we function in society and how, especially in North America, how we function. So we want to make sure that we start to remove the accumulation, thank you, God, of the underlying fears of things coming back, fears of, disconnection of the body, fears of deterioration, fears of everybody else in the collective field that shares similar symptoms and issues to what you have as well. So we can start to pull all of that out and then reset the heart, because it's looking a little emotionally taxed there. And then when you the body spirals, and then the body goes with your brain to your body looks like it's spiraling, right? Like it's getting out of control a little bit, which is not uncommon. So don't beat yourself up there. People are like,
I think there's just been a lot of different information recently.
Lots. And what we want to do,
come off, everything seeed so extreme, but it's something you had even told me ages ago, right? Like, you don't need any of this. And
going
so now
through
it's like more and more people.
Yeah, because there's a saying, because a lot of times, I don't know, I had an experience once, I'll share it if it helps you. I was on, I had to go on some medicine because I had a major break out my face. Anyways, there's some stuff going on in my life. I'm like, I couldn't take the time. It was about 10 years ago. I couldn't take the time to really start to, clear it out, clear my body. I didn't have that time. So I went to the dermatologist and he said, I'm going to just give you this medicine. And I was like, okay. And, I'll take it. I'll line myself, blah, blah, blah. And I literally had major pains in my body. I had thoughts of suicide, a lot of stuff going on. And I had enough awareness. And this is how I say get in tune with the body, enough awareness to go off, right? I was like, okay, I need to go off. And I called him and I said, I don't understand. Like, I don't take medicine. This is kind of one of the few times I hadn't taken medicine in years. And, he said, wow, there's so many symptoms, but we don't really tell you a few of them. So go off of it. Like, these are a lot of side effects. And so I did, obviously, because I'd already gone off of it. And he's like, good on you. And that was good. And it literally within a day, it cleared up rather than this 10 days. And so a lot of times too, and I had like you, it was like, what is my body really, really telling me? So when I put it in, my body didn't like it. When I took it out, my body was happy. So it's kind of like, that's where we want to, you take a couple of days and see how does your body function with or without whatever you're putting in, right? And then that's a little bit of a process. So you're sort of on the reverse. So what we want to connect is really, what is the body telling you? Because no matter who on the planet says anything to you, doesn't matter who they are, where they are, you live in your body, right? So you have the most awareness, and that's what we want to increase, is that when I'm out of this environment, I feel happy. When I don't have the medicines here, I feel good. When I do have them, I feel good. Like, it's like that, right? Like, we want to start to open that communication. So there's less stress from the mental and more connection with physical. And that's how you can work with different people and expand into more of the information that they're actually telling you. So you can kind of go within and say, yeah, I that actually feels good. No, that doesn't feel so right. So I'm just going to wait on that. Right. How does that feel now when you actually?
Yeah, I think that feels good. I think a lot of it, I think the hardest part of it is the fear-based. And so it's not knowing, like, okay, I'm worried about coming off of this.
Yeah.
But how am I feeling? Okay, I'm still not feeling great coming off of it. Yeah. But it was so many different things and so many different supplements. And I think at this point it's confused. So it doesn't know what it needs and what it doesn't need.
It isn't. So we'll reset you to give it a little bit more time, see how you feel. And then we check in on there again and then see how you feel with all the information you have. So you haven't had enough time to even process how you feel, right? And process how the body is talking and feeling, because it's been bombarded with so much stress and so much worry and so much, information. Like you said, we kind of got to pull it back and sort of clean the slate, which I want to thank God I got to cleaning that energy for you, and just a little bit more calm in the body, a little bit more of going within, because there's a lot of energy even stuck within the throat and just below. So as you can feel from basically your heart chakra all the way up. So we can start to dissolve and liquefy a lot of that information that you've been trying to connect with yourself differently. Like, what do you want? What do you need? What do you require? And how is that going to make everything settle out and bring you back into a place of what you had, a peace and calm and restoration, because you've already had that, and pull that information forward rather than, there we go, thank you God, the chaos and the confusion. Does that feel better?
Right. Yes, it does. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome. We'll stay on top of that for you. Okay. All right. Have a great day. All right. You know what? It's, I know we have to take a commercial break fairly soon here. So I just want to expand more of that connection into your body and connection of where we can get into fear. Again, what are we believing? What are we receiving? What is the fear that comes up? And a lot of times it takes a really hard look to sort of step back. And I know very well that, especially when we have physical things going on in our body, we get so much information from so many places. And this is why I always like to remind people, go and do all your tests, go get everything done that you need to do. But also please remember that you live with yourself every day. So you know what feels good and you know what doesn't. And this is where you have to explain that also to people and take ownership of it, and really take ownership of, what you can do, what you can't do. Because your medical teams, your health people you work with, they just do the best they can with the information that you've given them. And that's where you start to realize that all these emotions and all the information that we carry really starts to wreak havoc on the body. I was saying with the collective consciousness, what does that mean? It means when you have a thought process, but maybe 10 million other people have that exact same thought process, you start plugging into what their information is, which can override maybe what you're trying to create or what you're trying to generate. It's like if you're driving on a highway, and I teach this in one of my classes where you're driving on a highway and then you think, oh, I didn't manifest properly because I'm stuck in traffic. Well, all those people that probably got up that morning were going to work going, oh, I got to get up early. It's going to be traffic. It's going to be heavy. So, it's just bigger. So you learn to become more in sync with where you are, more at peace, and more of an understanding that, okay, this is all right. This is perfect. I'll get there to when I need to get there. And same when you're going within with your physical issues, it's the same thing as find the reference point of where you didn't have that, pull that energy in and go within. So I hope that helps you. I know we're going to go to break right away and we're going to come back. We have Millen on the line. And I just want to encourage you all to check out our global online call. It's on July 9th. And it's really about, God doesn't want you to be poor, man does. And it's about the financial perspectives that we've carried, that we really bought into, and the change. And I want to encourage you, you can go to tracylclark.com, get your free Clearing Out the Weeds audio as well, which again is going to help you become more aware, more connected to you, and awaken you into the more beautiful soul that you truly are. So hold on. We'll be back right after the break where we'll have another caller, and you can call in 1-800-930-2819. And we're also going to shift you just a little bit more into the realm. See you after the break.
You said forever, you said always. Now you know things have changed, and going back is not an option. It's sudden, devastating, and is like taking a leap of faith. Tune in to From Two to You, Thriving After Divorce Radio, as Sarah Lou's empowerment coach and spiritual mentor reminds you to have faith in yourself. Tune in every second Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific and listen as Sarah encourages you to leave negative stories in the past and move forward. We all need a friend. When I do becomes I can't. Let Sarah help as life takes you in a new direction. Leave the guilt and doubt in the past, step into the spotlight, and show the world who you are. To find out more about Sarah Lou's, visit sarahloos.com.
If you struggle with fear and anxiety, you know how powerless and stuck these emotions can make you feel. You've tried everything, but nothing helped you overcome these blocks. Dr. Friedman Schaub, award-winning author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, created a special program which helped thousands of his clients to become healthy, happy, and confident again. Learn how to eliminate negative self-talk, let go of your emotional baggage, and replace limiting beliefs. With Dr. Friedman's accelerated program, you can break through your challenges. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.
People often ask, what does it mean to thrive? On Thrive by Jen Radio, it means body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Create synchronicity with God and learn as Jen shares action steps and real stories that will inspire you to be unstoppable in fulfilling your purpose. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com and visit jenniferzellup.com to thrive with Jen.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
So I hope you had a little bit of food for thought on the break there. What are you receiving? Because what are you believing in? So think about it. It's huge because, again, we want to make sure that you really find your connection and your mission and what that is in this life, but just to awaken you to who you truly are, because we all forget. I know I forgot for many, many years. And when I started to remember who I was and remember my connection back to the God consciousness, everybody thought I was nuts. Everybody thought I was crazy. And I'll tell you, I'll take nuts and crazy all day long, because life is very glorious, and literally you can turn your life around from struggle or what you think is strife to just fun and just enjoying and embracing, the nature and the beauty in each and every one of your days. So I just want to encourage you. What are you receiving today? Open that up. All right. I think, Carter, do we still have, is it Malin on the phone?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm good. Sorry, what was it?
Milan.
Oh, it is
Milan.
Okay.
Gotcha.
He's got to type different. How are you? Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything. So this is going to be my question, but eye pain. Every once in a while I wake up and it's like I can't do anything because my eyes are in excruciating pain, and it's like, what's going on? And I was like, and it's funny. My question to myself yesterday, I was like, I need more clarity in my life. And then all of a sudden I wake up with this eye pain today on the right side, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Sophia asked, I was like, okay, what do I need to fully see clearly with this eye pain?
And eyes are really interesting, because the left eye is what we see, that's going on within us, right? That's how energetically it works. The right eye are things that are happening outside of us, what we're seeing outside of us, and the clarity of what that is. And so it's interesting that you're saying that when you love to paint, and when you're painting and creating that, you get more, then you have this pain, you wake up with it, which obviously then you're not going to sit there and paint, right? So it also keeps you from doing something that you really love, something you're really good at. And it looks more like it's actually connected energetically to not the painting, not that part, but what I would call the mundane stuff that would be after that. So that would be like the admin stuff or selling a painting, the kind of the businessy world of painting, right? It's the businessy world of the creative, which you do better if someone else could just handle that for you, because your love is actually just creating, isn't it? It's not really that other stuff, even though we have to do it. Yeah. So let's reset you for that, because even when I'm in your head, I got pain. I have pain even through my forehead. I was like, sorry. No, that's okay. That's how my body feels that. So, we just want to actually start to reset and recalibrate. And then what we can ask the body to actually be in more of an awareness of the joy of the painting, and see a little bit more of an increase in the energetic field of the joy of the business side as well, that there can be joy. It can be fun. It can be like, we can look at it as the exchange, the art for the money, for the fun, for the joy, getting paid for what you love. We want to bring that energy in more and actually increase it. There's still a little bit of a block there that's, I'm going to pull it out for you, that, it's sort of the way Spirit says, Mayor, is how dare you be paid for what you love. So there's still a little bit in there that we want to make sure just wipe that out, and really the joy of that, which when we increase that energy, it'll also it'll make the whole flow of the process better, right? So you can paint, you can enjoy it, you can see it, and you're strong to actually seeing what you're painting, because right now you can't paint. If you can't see out of an eye, or you feel like you have a little bit of a headache. The other thing that I want to do is release some energy out of the gallbladder and the liver. So a lot of times that's where anything stagnant of things we don't like will get stuck. It goes into other places of the body too, but yours is showing gallbladder and liver. So it wants to do like a toxic flush. So there's energy. So there's toxins in the body that are wanting to come out that look like they're also affecting the eye energetically. So I would spend a good 2 or 3 minutes throughout the day at different times, like massaging that area and asking it to let go. You can thank you, God, reset, let go. So similar to when people get even migraines or headaches, right? It's in the gallbladder, and usually not in the head. That's why people go for MRIs and stuff. They're like, you're fine. And they're like, great, but I still feel really bad. I can't see. I'm going to burp that one out for you. And then I'll put that increase of the joy. So the sticking point is, can I be joyous always when I paint? Am I allowed? It's like you need permission or something. So let's get rid of that. You don't need permission. Go paint, go have fun. And that's why it's being a resistance, a hesitation. Because again, if it's there, it's a pain, then all of a sudden your body can't go do what you love. How does that feel?
So much better. Thank you.
Does that feel better? Okay. And let's reset all for for everyone listening yourself. I always like to say you can tap the top of your head if you want, but we'll reset the chemical electrical frequency patterns, and we'll reconnect the right side of the brain to the left side of the body and the left side of the brain to the right side of the body, and we'll increase the innate system, and we'll remove the seeds and the roots, thank you God, of where this energy first came in. So you don't always have to, if you're wondering where it is, you don't always have to define it. You can just say, okay, where are the roots of that? Where's the seeds? Where did it come from? Because it could have come from many places, right? And we remove that. And I'll also remove you from collective consciousness versus age and seeing, because it looks like you have some of that going on as well. You're too young for that. Okay. Nobody needs to have glasses. I always say that. No glasses.
No.
And I will tell you a good story. We've had people in the community, in the TLC community, tell us that they actually have gotten their eyes checked and they've lost their glasses or whatever. And they're like, oh, your eyesight got better. And then their eye doctor's like, that's not possible. You're getting older. And they're like, see you later. Bye. So you want to take that in as well. And then ask yourself throughout the day, what things do you like seeing in your day and what things do you not like seeing in your day?
Okay, good. Thank you.
And that'll pull the rest out. Does that feel better?
Much better. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. I'm so glad you called.
I know. It's a first.
I love it. I love first. I love when new people call. I love it. It's fun because we're all, people forget every time you ask something and you just say you're hearing Sophia and shifting, you all get it. Like we all get the change. We all get the shift together. We all get the new together. And that's why I always say we go together, we grow together, because if you didn't ask your question, then all the people listening wouldn't have got the shift, even though they may say, I don't have that problem, but you might have just prevented getting it down the road, or there could have been something else that got shifted in the body. So I love it. Fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have an incredible day.
You too. Take care. Bye, Tracy.
Bye. This is what I love about when you start to connect and you open that heart space is you really start to understand that we are doing this together. And that's why this whole world that's become so separate, as I was saying at the top of the hour, defining who you are, defining how you identify or make your identity, it's really time for it to go. It's time for the division to leave, because we're really meant here to keep helping each other and supporting each other and uplifting each other. And we can say it all day long, but the key is to really be in service and doing it. So how are you going in your day today to help someone else? Because when you go in your day to help someone else, when you go in your day to serve someone else and not engage in the gossip or not engage in that negative talk and lift somebody up, you'll be able to actually see how you're making that big difference in the world. And it will come back to you tenfold. Like, trust me, it'll come back to you in so many ways and so many blessings. And I see it every day. I see it in our community. I see it in all the charity work we do to help others. And you take that energy. Just say, thank you, God, I'm taking all of that energy. I am going to give into spaces that I never thought possible. I'm going to lift somebody up today. And that will come back and it'll help restore your body, your soul, your spirit, and all your quadrants of life that you're wrapped up into, whether it's your health, your finances, your love, whatever it is. So remember that. Remember, theme of the day. What are you believing in? All right, Carter, I think we have Magdalena on the line.
Yep, Magdalena from Kitchener. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. I'm calling again.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'm doing well.
Good. You're one of
I'm doing great.
You're our mommy getting ready to give birth. And so I love when you call. You make me so happy.
That's so lovely. Thank you. It's funny because I'm calling for that reason in particular. I feel like I'm at the point and at the stage where I really am ready to get ready. I have a couple of months left, and yet I still have like a number of things I'd like to accomplish in preparation for, so I can establish my business, or not just establish, but really just continue the flow of my business. But, you recently asked us to ask ourselves, where are you resisting? Where are you, holding yourself back? And I feel that there's a little bit of that still within me while I'm, and it's coming through as fatigue. It's coming through as just being tired or feeling like I'm being lazy. So I wanted to ask you to help me, maybe if I could have a greater awareness of where, like I do notice that I push myself a lot. So I want to be better about where I should push myself and where I should be really resting for the health of myself and my baby.
Yeah. And right now, this is very normal because I'm looking at checking even your hormones and everything. They are like, you're in full on cook mode. It's meaning that the body is going to want to put you down into more sleep because the baby's growing very, very quickly now. Right. So your energy is actually, I got chills, flagging in the very nice range. Like you're good there. So I got to do some things, and I'll continue to do this. You're one of our moms in our community. So we always stay with our moms, people going through transition all the time. We stay with everyone, but you guys always get extra passes and to prepare you for the birth. But it's to prepare for the birth, to let all that move. Thank you, God. I'm going to reset that. So you're not really resisting the business. You feel like you're resisting because this is the key. If you're not moving all the time, you think you're lazy, even though you're still doing so much. And the body's saying, I need to rest because we're making a baby here. Do you see how the wires are getting crossed?
100%. And that's the part where I'm going, like, am I... the clarity isn't always there, where I don't know if I'm being hard on myself or if I'm just.
Yeah, you're not being hard on you are being hard on yourself, because what you can see, it's just like, and I have a bit of this too. We have these, I'm way better now, but you get these goals, or I shouldn't say that. We don't like goals. We have these ideas of where we want to go, what we want to do, right? And then something comes up. So now you're having a baby. You need some time with the baby, but the body is still like, well, I want to achieve this, or I want to go here. And so the energy gets too far ahead of where we are. So let's reset that, because you're not being lazy at all. You can see you're still very busy, but that the body is wanting to actually have some more rest. Like you can see, it's just like, I just need a little bit more rest. And so I want to increase, and actually what I want to override and expand in your awareness is to give yourself permission, thank you, God, to enjoy this time and have this rest, and that all the business and everything else is fine. Like even how you're set up financially, you're worrying too much. Like you can see it's all kind of taken care of. Like you're pretty much semi-retired already. You just don't even see it yet. So it's like, okay, all of this is coming through. And you know that on some level. So you know that. Yes. And you do know that. You can see that. And, we've helped so many people in the communities of, see and find that way. You're there. So don't worry, because what's going to happen is the mission of what you want to do is coming in where you can create. You might have heard me say this, where you want to be able to have your world set up financially so you can go create and do whatever you want, but it's not tied to your money, right? Yes. And that's how I live. And that's how we want to make sure all of you live, especially in our partnership programs. And so we move that through, and you're there. So you're worrying too much about what was old. Like I have a baby, my expenses. Oh, I got to keep creating due. I want to increase and open the awareness for more flow, because you're already set up. You're already good. And to enjoy the incubation time, you're not lazy. We're going to remove that patterning that comes from when you were little still, that if I'm not always going, something's wrong, because you're going to be super busy. You're going to have a little one there, and then you're going to need rest. And what the Spirit shows is to put you in rhythm with the baby, not in rhythm of what you think you should be. How does that feel?
Just lighter, and I think just more calm and more peace.
Yeah, let's expand more of that. Just enjoy. You are so on path, and you can just see that your system is like energetically, it reads really nice. It's like it wants to rest. Honor it. Just honor it.
Yeah, I can feel that very much. So I've been resisting the rest. I'm like, there's so much to do.
Yeah, don't even worry about that. Yeah, it's all going to get done. Use your tool. Thank you, God. Reset, let go. I'm going to rest. I'm going to enjoy this period, because in 6 months, you'll be like, oh, I wish I rested.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you
and then the
so
business
much,
picks
Tracy.
up again. You're welcome, sweetheart. Lots of love. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you again.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We have a few more minutes. So I think, Carter, you said we have Shannon on the line.
Yep, Shannon from British Columbia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi. Hello.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Nice and early out there for you. I think it's like, almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, not quite 9 o'clock. Been on since 8, so.
Yes. What's your question today?
Well, a couple comments first. I love the community, you know that. And it's so interesting because when you're connected in the community, I'll go to call in about something and someone else will ask the question. And
love
everyone
it.
is so connected that I'll end up even on today's call, I'm like, oh, yes, then that applies, and that applies. Thank you. I'll take that. So I love it. But one thing I'm kind of struggling with to clear myself is this vision. So it's this vision of, it's so vivid, of losing my balance and falling off a cliff. So I know it's clearly something to do with fear-based, or I don't know, is it past life-based? And so it triggered again last weekend because we were away at a wedding and there was this beautiful venue and we were up on these boulders overlooking a cliff on the ocean, as I'm over here in BC. And instantly this vision, and it's so vivid, I can feel the feelings of if I'm falling or going to fall, or it's real. And I realized that as it keeps repeating throughout the days and weeks, and it kind of comes out of nowhere, is that this is something I had I remember having it as a kid.
Yeah, it is. You can see it is so it's a past life memory. This is what happens when we have trillions of cells. Past life memories will wake up at certain times when we have different places. And this is recreating where body is recalibrating for more stability. And so with the transitions you've gone through, you're coming into a whole new level of stability. However, because it hasn't anchored in yet, and you've had this for so long, it's very, 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 you can see very past life connected. If we can start to disconnect the accumulation of that memory and the past life, but it comes up when body is not stable, when body is feeling like it needs to have more stability brought back into it. So we can reground the system to bring back stability. I can increase that frequency for you so we can remove the roots and the seeds of the memory that came up in the cell. That's why it is so vivid. And for some reason, it does show it was like 2 lifetimes ago. So it wasn't that long ago. So when it comes in like that, that's not that long ago, right? So we'll remove that and we'll set that through. Yeah. And then when no kidding, you get to something and you'd be like, I don't want to fall off. That's why people have fear of heights a lot too, for the same reason, or, similar. So usually it goes there. Sometimes it'll be because a mother fell when they were pregnant. People get that, but yours is past life. So we'll just remove all of this accumulation. Yeah, is past life. But we can reset. So what we'll do is we'll put some flexibility and stability in the right and the left side of your body again. And then I'm going to really increase the connection with the right brain to left side of the body. So it's where it's drawing a line. It wants to go all the way through. And then that way, you'll start to see that it'll just start to dissipate. It looks like it's just going to fade. The memory just fades away. But your everyday life is going to feel even stronger and more stable. And your connection, like everything looks like it's changing again.
Well, so and that's why I wondered if it was just connected to change and this next transition, because I can feel that, and I can feel that.
Huge.
So hence I was trying to work on it myself and clear it myself, because it wasn't sure if it was actually past life or it was just coming up fears of this next transition, because that weekend actually opened up a whole bunch of amazing other things for myself and my boyfriend, and for our future, and for my own personal kind of goals and connection back to my creativity. So it was all kind of tied in together. I know that. So
exactly. So remember, when something feels unstable in the body and that memory comes in, right, then it will trigger, you're correct, it will trigger the fear, right, because of the change. So we get rid of that connection, thank you, God, and that memory and that past life experience, reset the body, thank you, God, reset, let go, into the strength, the vitality, the connection, now the joy, right? So the joy of what all of the new that's coming in. And because you've been taking huge leaps and bounds, I've watched you're in our miraculous program. You're like taking huge leaps and bounds and you're connecting and connecting and connecting. So now the God consciousness is working even stronger with you, which again, when you see all of this good stuff coming, can trigger a little bit of that, it's like holding a breath, right? But now it's like, take the breath and go.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And it actually makes me want to tear up. I normally don't have a problem verbalizing things, but it has me so emotional that I'm having trouble verbalizing how I feel because it's such an overwhelmed feeling of emotion and things changing. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's a connection you can't, it's hard. Don't even worry about verbalizing it. Like sometimes when I'm so in the spirit or depending on where I am and I just start crying and you're like, why am I crying? And when I figured out it was just the God connection, the God consciousness coming through, embrace it. Cause that's just the celebration of the expansion of more of who you are. You don't have to explain that to anyone. Don't even try.
Right. I think it's just the exterior people thinking that, what's wrong with her? Is it okay?
To say they're happy tears and no. And you know what? Like I said in the top of the hour, we're all being the crazy camp together, but it's interesting how people look at something like that as crazy when you're just expanding into love and kindness and you actually are having things that you dreamed of unfold. Why is that crazy? Or you're having your power back. Why is that crazy? You're able to make decisions for yourself and your family that are loving and kind and moving forward. I don't understand why people think that's crazy.
I think that's where I feel the need to verbalize, because that's always been my power, is to be able to verbalize it until you understand. But because I can't even verbalize it to most people in my life, they really don't get it. Then they just see all the change, which a close girlfriend brought that up too, was not everyone always wants to see you change. They've decided you're such a really close people in your life, right? You've decided you're meant to be a certain way because that's how you've always been. Right. So then they see all the change, and
it scares people too. It brings out their fears of the things that they're not changing, or the fears of losing you. And they don't even know how to verbalize it. They don't. They just are like, why are you changing so much? We see that a lot in the community where people get pushed back because they're like, I'm changing, but I'm happy. So what's wrong with me being happy? Because people, I guess misery loves company. I don't know, but it's like that you can't explain it. Yeah, you can. It's just like, well, let me be happy. And we should celebrate more people embracing who they really are, which is what you've really done. And you've got you are on that cusp. Like you can see, and that's the other thing is like, I was talking about top of the hour of a tipping point right now in the world. You're on your tipping point. Like you're literally going to just tip over, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Perfect.
Lots. I love you. Thank you for calling in. Let me know how you're doing.
You.
All right. Have a great day. Bye. You know what? I want to encourage you. We're just talking about the Miraculous program. It is a place where I'm with you 5 days a week. We have such an incredible community. If you're looking for community, check us out at tracylclark.com under the monthly programs. They're our partnership. We partner together. It's not just a membership. When you contribute in, it's tithing, it's sowing into what we do. So you get all that back. You get an incredible group of support, whether you're in the effortless realm or the miraculous. We're with you. People just like Shannon there cheering you on through the ups, through the downs. And there's no community that's actually formed like this. We've tried to find one. I'm very interactive with the community, whether it's on Facebook or different things. And that's why they call in. That's why you hear them. We're extremely interactive, and we have done some incredible giving back into the world, and it's just got going. So if you want to be part of that receiving, you want to check that out, because when we give, we get. When we give, we get. So again, check us out, tracylclark.com. Remember, what are you believing in? That is what you're receiving. So take a step, take a breath, and say, I'm going to believe in something new today because I'm ready to receive something new. So thank you. Hope you'll check us out next week. We have our men back on our show explaining a little bit more around their journey and helping other men awaken to their true power. So we'll see you next week on the Tracy L. Clark Show. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality, revealing the steps you need to transcend perceived limitations. As a remarkable leader and pioneer in my field, I, Tracy L., will provide insights energetically and the tools required to move you forward. For more information on my partnership program, check us out at tracylclark.com.